Right or wrong. It's usually based on a new one coming.
So once he gets his. That'd be all right.
Yeah, right, harvest. It's supposed to end this past week.
Oh, jeez.
Testing them?
Shall we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's not supposed to get a look at my collar, it's really wants to stuck my hand in there, I ran a screw across me. Leave me pretty good.
Hey, Nancy.
Do my nose clears, I should better have it. Bloody nose.
Okay.
Drip, blood, stomach.
Right.
Contacts on my nose, you know. So, toilet paper's once you can, that ain't gonna stop. I don't know if you ever do bloody nose.
No, but I'm off Friday.
It's miserable.
Yep. I don't know if you get ready by then, otherwise we can go. This is nice about my new job. Is on my phone. Okay, so this week I can't do the squeaky chair. This week is the 4th. Okay. The next week I'm off on Monday. I have to take my dog to the vet from 9 to 11. Okay. The following week. I have a half a day on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon. No, I work in the morning.
I have some that are cheap.
The 20th. Okay. You got my number? Call me, text me. And if that don't work, then we can always go after.
Yes.
I get out, I get back to
She
you
said
about
that's
5.
fine.
So any night is that.
Thank you. She's in Georgia.
Yeah, I know, that's really.
These guys are all.
I'd entertain a motion to accept the printed minutes of the March 7th meeting. Is there support? Moved and supported, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we have the bills, April bills.
First bill you'll see is Verizon for phones, $154.95. There are 3 bills for consumers energy listed, $30.10, $32.89, and $32.11. We're missing the bigger consumer bill for the month for this building. We got streetlight cemetery, but we haven't received one for this building as of yet. DTE for gas was $452.47, and that included paying off our budget for the year. Cash there for internet is $75.24. Board review met, all members present, and a recorder for March was $1505.22. Lakeview elevator was $26.99 for a tarp. Foster Swift for the attorneys, $2906.84. Lakeview area news for publications was $636. And water bill for the month was $40.75. The next Verizon bill, $154.95. There are 2 because we've always been 1 month behind with them for some reason. I finally got a chance to get them caught up. We did buy new vacuums for the community center, $251.10. FICA payment for withholding was $1306.59. State withholding, $269.83. Clerk and treasurer's rental reimbursement at $150 each. Brian for the cemetery was $560, and April board per diem is $31.87.31. Both assessors are listed at $1203.51 for a total of $14,812.20.
motion to accept the clerk's, report and to pay the bills?
So moved.
Support?
Support.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm sorry, but I jumped ahead. Any public comment on the items on the agenda? I'm sorry. Hearing none, we'll move on. Treasurer's report.
Cato Township checking beginning balance was $408,580.84. We had an income of $30,602.63. Our bills totaled $14,810.34. Our ending balance is $424,373.13. Fire district, the beginning balance was $36,759.61. We have an income of $1.84. Our ending balance is $36,761.45. Honeymoon Heights, our beginning balance was $5,944.65. Our income was 28 cents. Our ending balance is $5,944.93. Our CDs, beginning and ending balance is the same at $107,139.22. We should be getting another interest payment here at the end of March, so any day.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion, we accept it as presented.
Support? Support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Any questions?
So the CDs are up in March, is that what it is, that's how we're getting it?
No, we get interest at the end of March, every three quarters. They're, up May 16th.
Okay. Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Zoning?
There were no permits issued, one, variance request for, a dwelling to be built behind the pole barn, which would make the pole barn in the front yard, and that's coming up soon this month.
Any questions of Dave? Does the planning, board have anything?
No, cause we haven't met till next Wednesday.
I heard, just to let you guys know, I heard through the grapevine from the road commission that the road commission bought the building on M46 in Youngman on the corner.
They did buy
They
it.
did.
I see they're cleaning it out yesterday,
Yeah,
somebody
they're gonna
was,
clean it up and,
they're gonna burn it down and take care of it then.
yeah, I know it's been a hot topic
Yes.
on the board in the past.
What
so.
building was that?
Next to John Beardsley's house, the one,
Oh.
The one we've
The
been
road,
wanting
oh,
to,
they did buy that?
Yep, yeah, in conjunction with MDOT.
Oh, great,
So that's being purchased down too, do you know?
Yeah, that's the plan. So,
great,
Good.
great.
maybe even put a turn lane in there.
yeah, might turn a foot right turn.
Yeah.
Nothing much,
There's been a lot of accidents there.
yeah, it's been a hot topic in the past.
I heard it, but I haven't heard it.
Yeah, cause it's like 99,000 now on the corner.
Yeah, something like that.
That's great.
Yes.
Brian. New business, we have, everybody has a copy, I think, of the brine contract for this year, for the, first coat.
Actually, I think that's for all three, Larry.
Is that all
Yeah,
three?
that's a total for all three. If you look at the paragraph.
Three coats, okay.
Yeah, three applications, a thousand per mile each time, which is what we did last summer.
Okay.
That's about like normal, if not time.
We used to do twice that on the first application, I think, and we cut it back a year ago to 1,000 gallons per mile, and it seemed to work okay. We didn't get any
We got
complaints.
lucky,
Yeah.
cause we used to put 1,600 on, all three coats. But, depends how the rains come.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to accept the contract?
I'll make a motion, we approve the chloride contract as presented.
Support? Any other discussion of it?
There is a separate
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The weed control for both lakes, or just,
No, this is road intersections, road commission road intersections.
oh, okay, this is a spraying contract.
Correct.
$2,000.
I'll make a motion that we accept that as well.
Is there support?
We do it every year.
Been moved, supported, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Quick update.
Every 3 years, we have to get a new, QuickBooks software. It usually runs about $250, give or take. I've been notified by QuickBooks or Intuit that it's up in May this year, next month, so I'd like a motion to, approve the purchase of that. Otherwise, we won't do anything. It
Are
usually
you
runs-
making the motion?
It runs about $250 usually. I will make the motion that we purchase
Is there
the
support?
QuickBooks update.
Moved, supported, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public test,
We have done the preliminary test on the voting equipment last week, was it Friday, I think it was. And the absent voter applications have been sent out, we received, and now the ballots are on their way out. We've probably got 230 ballots out so far, and there'll be a request of probably 400 to 500 we're working on. And sometime prior to the May election, we'll be running what's called a public test on the voting equipment. Don't have a date just yet, but it should be middle of April sometime. We're required to do that before the actual election. And the ballot is very simple. There's one item on the ballot, it's a school millage, yes or no. Really simple as that. So I'm just giving you an update on that.
any other new business? Old business, trail report?
Here's the latest on the projected Tamrac Trail project. Darren, the village manager, and myself put together a letter and we submitted it to county commissioners, Montgomery County Board. They notified us that there's gonna be about 500,000 or maybe a little more that they're gonna distribute out to 20 local townships upon request. And we made an application for 50,000 coming from the county ARPA funds. We don't know that we're gonna get that much. We don't in fact know that we're gonna get it for sure, but we're about 99% certain that we're going to get pretty close to what we asked for. There'll be a committee meeting soon and then they'll determine based on the amount of requests that came in, who's going to get what. And the applications are all over the map. I'm told as high as 300,000, some of them. So anyway, we're hoping to be successful in that. As you know, we have a grant request out to Consumers Power for 250,000. We've not heard anything on that other than we're in the running. We have a request out to the Meyer Foundation and we have not heard anything back on that. We did get an engineer firm to come take a look at the proposed walk path site, and they're telling us initially for what we wanna do, it probably will take at least $300,000, depending on how much of it gets blacktopped and built up. But that's as far as we've gotten at this point. But it's been a great collaboration. Everybody seems to be on board. Everybody seems to be in favor. The village, the township, and the downtown development are all able to agree to keep pursuing the project. And the response we get from the public has been well received. So hopefully another month we'll know some more.
Roof update?
The roof will tentatively be installed at the end of May, beginning of June, weather dependent. That's the slot that we've got right now.
And while you're talking, can you do a report on the roads?
Yeah, last week I went around with Mark Christensen and we had, he had given us a list of roads and the condition they are. And we've identified a few roads that, could potentially need it more than others. One of them is Bale from Tamrac to Cutler Road, that's 1 mile. That's one of our, between Youngman, that's the most traveled roads that we have. We haven't done anything out there in over 15 years. That's starting to break up. So what they proposed is, you can see we've got an overlay with some cold milling, shoulder gravel, and that's at $105,639 with a 20% back. They're giving up to 20% on overlays this year. Chip and seal is 15%. I know it's a lot of money, but that's one that's been identified. And then the other one was Fog Seal Schmied from North Bacchus to Hickory Drive. That is a 0.5 miles, and that's $13,429. We're not looking to make any motions or anything tonight, but you guys want to think about it so we can be ready for next meeting.
I know the county wants us to get it, whatever jobs we're gonna do lined up soon,
Yep.
so they get it scheduled.
The buyback is, from what I've been told, is looking good for next year too. When I say buyback, 20%, 15%.
This year and next year?
Yes.
Oh,
What's the fog seal?
Chip and seal.
Okay.
That, the fog seal is after they lay down the stone, they fog it one last time. And then, I did get a call about, Elmy Road getting paved again. I did talk to Mark. We don't have, anything in the works on that. But I do need to talk to him about, the gravel that they put down, last year.
where at?
Elmy.
Elmy Road.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, my count, this is bad.
Yeah, I drove that today, that's bad.
Too much clay in it.
So I'll give you an update on that. And then, last meeting, we got a couple, reports from a couple spots on Honeyman Heights. We did go check those last week. They're getting there, but they're gonna get patched. It's cold patch.
Do we need to, act on, that road, or could that wait till, for?
They can wait.
Wait.
We had a list that the road commission prepared for us.
We got that back in
2 months ago.
3 months ago.
Yeah, and in that, they had several different proposals. I don't think it included either of these.
No, that was just, they gave the mileage and what the potential cost was per mileage.
So, we thought when the weather broke, we could get a better look at things. It's finally starting to break. Yeah. Well, we thought so.
Any other old business? Pat, do you have anything for us from the county?
Yeah, I guess probably the most, interesting thing to you, or the thing that you'd be most concerned about, is that ARPA money. Todd touched on that. So the pot of money that we've got allocated to give to townships, cities and villages, like Todd said, is currently $500,000. We might be able to push a little bit more there, but that'll have to get split up between the 20 townships and the 5 cities and incorporated villages. So not everyone has an ask the same, so I think you're in the right league with the 50. I don't know if we can quite grant that much. It'll depend on how many requests we have, but that'll be close. And then the other side of it, we allocated a share of ours to the road commission for road projects, and I know you've got some people that have asked about a road repair in the last few months, so excited to think some of that will get used towards roads in the county, and hopefully Cato Township, it'll make a difference on that. So outside of the ARPA money, that's probably most of what's going on that would concern the township, but if you got any questions, I'd be glad to try and answer those. Thank you.
Thanks.
Got any questions of Pat? Public comment?
I'm Jenny, Cato Township. I'm just wondering, Jordan, if we requested any of this
ARPA money from the counter for the road project you've already got on the books? It sounds like there's additional money that could be grabbed out there. Has that been requested for any of the roads?
No, the way that it's been explained to me is that's how they're giving the 20% back. It's all getting split up between.
Okay, but that was before the ARPA money showed up.
ARPA money, I think, is coming out for parks and recreations.
Pardon?
The town, or the road commission was getting some too.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, you got that 20% authorization before that ARPA money showed up.
Yeah,
Now
they're doing
saying
it
they
this
have
year
another
again, next year.
500,000 possibly, and our commissioner just told us that they gave all their money to the county for roads, so is it worth asking if there's any more money out there for roads? Not just ours, but any roads.
Yeah, I mean, I can, but it's getting all, split up. The county's doing some of their roads and they're doing the 20% off this year, and next year with that money too.
Any other questions? Any other comments, I guess? Brandy?
The past couple of months, I've been trying to gain an understanding of the various governing bodies besides the planning commission and the board in the township. I think taxpayers have a right to know who sits on these committees and who's making the decisions, and how the committees operate. The first one that I started looking into was the Board of Review. Currently, there's nothing on the website that addresses the Board of Review at all, nothing on the members, nothing on minutes, nothing on meetings, nothing on governing documents. Again, taxpayers shouldn't have to go digging for this information. And that includes terms of offices as well, especially if somebody's interested in serving on one of those committees, they should be able to know what the terms of the current members are. I did take it upon myself to attend the organizational meeting that was advertised in the paper for a few issues. There was one gentleman, I don't know who he was, but he kind of acted like I didn't have a right to be there, and that's a problem. Now, Larry, you did step up and say that these are public meetings and anyone is welcome, so I thank you for that, but he should have known better on that. The second governing body I've been looking into is the Zoning Board of Appeals. Again, there's nothing on the website except for an outdated membership list. One of the members listed has resigned months ago. Again, I don't think taxpayers should have to go searching for minutes and meeting notices. They should be able to find that out easily on the website. And lastly, I guess what is the plan for replacing that or filling that vacancy on the ZBA? My understanding per Michigan law is one member has to be a member of the Planning Commission. And I do think that position should be offered to all the members of the Planning Commission, and they should get the opportunity to apply. So I'll be interested in knowing what that process is. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Many of you know me, I'm Steve Charnley, recently retired here to, well, I guess not real recently, a year ago to Lakeview. I wanted to be sure you know that we're gonna have summer. And I was talking to Dallas Lincoln, and I just wanna celebrate what we do in our community. And Music in the Park is a crown jewel, one of the things that's part of our township and wider region. And so there's 9 events lined up for those Wednesdays, beginning with our own Gravel Ridge at the last Wednesday of June, and then all the way through most of August. Dallas and his brother Lou, this is their swan song. They've done it over 20 years. They're still in the area, and certainly Dallas and Nancy on the lake. But as far as taking leadership, they've asked if I would assume that responsibility after this summer. So I'm delighted to do so. You know, just look forward to how we can continue to do wonderful things. And kudos to the plans you and Darren are working on about a trail around the lake. Having lived in Greenville and seeing the completion of that with the Meyer family, it's been a great benefit to have that 7-mile loop where you can go freely and without concern about your children with you know, crossing traffic. We don't have a major highway to go under with $1 million tunnel like they had to do on Highway 57, so it's going to be a little easier for us to make it happen. But I can't wait
to hear our younger families, and anyone really, enjoying that loop, which would be, I don't know the mileage, is it about 5?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's about 5.
Yeah, what a great walk. So we are going to be dedicating a special bench and kind of important seating area as part of that trail in the park this summer for Lena Rader-Meyer in all the ways in which she and her family have benefited our wider communities. And so we look forward to doing that. That'll probably be in August. And we're looking to maybe have a portion of that trail that the city's involved with even ready. So cut that ribbon. So just wanted to celebrate that, and glad to be the 6th generation of the Charnleys here in Lake.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I have a comment. I'm Charlie Curtis, Cato Township. With the rush to place industrial wind turbines all over the county, I fear that there are unintended consequences that haven't been quite thought through sufficiently in order to make these decisions. Industrializing our rural counties with commercial wind turbines will deconstruct so many parts of rural life, but none so obvious as the concept of zoning. Zoning regulation exists to protect people in local jurisdictions from development that would infringe upon adjacent property rights and values, as well as to preserve the integrity of communities by creating zones of like areas of development. Zoning allows development, but in an orderly way that is harmonious with the nature of the community as a whole. To pretend that industrial wind turbines are a harmonious form of farming and thereby allow them into rural communities is pure insanity. We will destroy the very concept of zoning by doing this. Zoning will no longer make any sense, and any regulations and decisions based on it will rightfully be considered to be capricious and biased and thus hypocritical. When money is able to buy off common sense zoning decisions, and that is clearly what is happening, we should call that what it is, corruption. The prospect of money for turbines is a total scam that has caused many township officials to lose their minds. Anyone with a little common sense can see that industrial turbines have no place in rural communities, and that by placing them there, these communities will have their essential natures altered forever. The whole purpose of zoning is to ensure that this very thing does not happen, and that the essential nature of our communities is being maintained, not destroyed by these turbines. Industrial wind turbines, if nothing else, belong in areas zoned industrial, not agricultural or rural agricultural. Let's just pretend I have a little piece of property out there on 91, out in the farmland zoned rural agricultural, and want to put in a commercial gas station. I have no doubt I should be turned down based on common sense zoning, because it would be counter to the essential rural nature of the area. Industrial turbines, 1,000 times more so. With the corruption of zoning, however, if I offer to share my profits with the township and my neighbors, to be accurate, that would be called a bribe, as Apex Energy is doing, I should easily expect to be able to purchase a variance for my little gas station. Fairness demands it. After all, it's only a small operation with minimal impact, not hundreds of 600-foot industrial turbines. So my question now is, how much money will it take me to get a favorable zoning decision? And that would seem to be fair to ask if wind turbines are approved. It would set a horrible precedent of pay to play for all future zoning decisions. Isn't it clear that succumbing to this business model will establish corruption as a way of life in our townships? And I implore you not to embrace it.
Any other comments?
Hi, I'm Nancy Lundwall, and I live in Cato. And thank you guys, and you do a good job. But, and I've oftentimes gotten outspoken and always wanna thank you for what you do, but I've never really stated how I feel about it, which way I wanna go on the whole turbine idea. But, so tonight you get it. I've talked to about 5 different people who represent the turbine company. If there's a meeting or whatever and they have a rep here, I always go up and ask to talk to the person. I only have one question for them. Do you live in the turbine community? And 4 of the 5 have said no. Well, I'm sorry, but that's like some guy telling me how to deliver a baby. I mean, they've never experienced, I might as well read a brochure. Talk to me if you live in a turbine community. One of those people called me. And so it was a girl, and I asked her, I said, so you live, she says, yeah, they're in our community. And I said, okay, how about the light flicker thing I hear about? And she goes, well, I don't live that close, that doesn't affect me. And I said, okay, are they noisy? And she said, well, you hear them all the time. She says, but it's not bad, it's like sitting next to your washing machine. And I thought, I walked out of my house this morning, and I live on Town Line Lake, and so I'm not farm country. I live in a community, I have neighbors and everything, but I stepped out the door, and it was snowing, and it ticked me off, but I still went out there, and I heard the birds. I didn't hear my washing machine, I heard the birds. And that's why we moved from Grand Rapids out here. And I like that community. So now this lady told me, she said she lives in this community, but she can't see the turbine. So it's not right next door to her. This is just in Mass. So I'm not real thrilled with that idea. And then I have family and friends who live in counties where there are turbines. Mason County, right off the lake, man, the wind's always blowing through there. The turbines are not always running, but they're there all the time. And over in, Isabella County. Isabella County has them. And I asked all my family and these people that I know, how have your are your bills gone down? Is it paid for you to have it? No. So then I looked them up online, and they are almost 4% higher than the average